Alright, look at those little Noblars with their little pots and pans. And we have Alberic, an actual champion for the lady. Alright, this is a game I was playing against a somewhat of an, I wouldn't even say a newbie player. Freya is actually quite the strong player. I was actually surprised how strong Freya was. This person introduced themselves as a player who's a bit of a noob, but yeah, this was actually quite rough, as you'll see here. And I know I'm playing Ogres. I haven't played Ogres in a long time. I played them as FSFT, not knowing what to do and how to really play them. And it's not that hard to get Ogres. You just have a bunch of Noblars, a bunch of Ogre Bulls, do an Ogre Rush, a few Lead Belchers, go nuts. And Ogres are pretty nasty, but this is something I like to do, but it's also a bit of a degenerate build. And I asked Freya if they were okay with this, and they're like, sure, you could do Ogres. They just wanted to get better. I was like, alright. I wasn't sure how to do this build properly. I mean, I've done this build before, but sometimes it's been so long since I played it, I have a hard time remembering how to exactly play it. And this is the issue with terror-causing SEs, honestly. You get a bunch of chaff like this, and this is the basic Bretonnia build I was kind of, and I was expecting, and, I don't think it's the most optimal way of actually dealing with Bretonnia as Ogres. I think you're better off just going with a giant Ogre Rush with Lead Belchers behind them. But this, it still does okay. Honestly, a bunch of Pigback Riders, Noblars, and backed up by like 3 Lead Belchers honestly would do a lot better than this. Maybe have 1 Mournfang Calf to shoo away Pegasus Knights, backed up by a Great Maw Healer to make sure those Mournfang can stay alive against Alberic or maybe some Pegasus Knights coming in. But this works too. We are not getting any value right now, but we have a triple cap going on, and we are just terror routing the shit out of all these peasants. They don't like it when a Stonehorn and a Thunder Tusk come trampling and stampeding through their lines. Matter of fact, it's pretty bad. The Grail Leak, though, is the only saving grace right now, providing ITP. And we need to get a Healing Caster pronto to make sure Alberic doesn't shoo away my Stonehorns. Speaking of shooing away, yeah, keeping these mounted yeomen. I wasn't really expecting mounted yeomen, although I think that's actually one of the strongest, and they really should be out here shooting up the Stonehorns rather than trying to cap a point and mess with Noblars right now. Because these Stonehorns and Thunder Tusk are just menaces, pure menaces. Really, Freya, if you're watching this, just isolate the SCs with Alberic and some Knights, and you should be able to clean them up real nice. Although, all I have to do is get all the the Stonehorns and the Thunder Tusk together, and just provide support for each other. Yeah, honestly, this build of mine is really, really difficult to manage. Even though it's less units, it's making sure these units stay alive, and it's not as easy as it looks. Because the yeomen are very mobile, so it's hard to tear out them and get in good charges. It's mainly banking on the fact my opponent brought the standard peasant mob build, and hoping to tear out them away, which is doing alright. I believe these are, yeah, Knights of the Realm. They're anti-large, they got decent weapon strength, although the armor is helping out a lot. Alberic shooting away my Paymaster is helping and being kind of annoying. Here come the Pegasus Knights, although it's not going to be too great on them. And these absolute chads. Yeah, even have the Stonehorns, and these are the Stonehorns with the Hunters on top, so they're throwing javelins into that caster right there and other blobs. So it's pretty painful. Looks like he's got, is that a Paladin? Or a Henry Lamassif coming in helping out, beating up my Paymaster. And we still have the triple cap going on. We've just been spamming out, I believe, Pigback Riders to come help support against these Knights. And it is obviously, yeah, because once we tear out all the peasants, all the battle pilgrims, whatever, Pigback Riders can just feast on the Knights Errants and everything else. Because there's nothing left, really, and we can just push up and hold out. And like I said, the only saving grace right now are these mounted yeomen, and I think the problem is they should be shooting into the Thunder Tusk and the Stone Horns, because, man, the Pegasus are getting beat up by the Thunder Tusk. That's pretty nuts. To be fair, there's no healing, no support for them, so my other Stone Horn is getting routed right now. I need to get a healing caster out here. Although, I did lose the Paymaster, he got hunted down. We are winning most of the fights, so it's not like leadership is actually that much of a problem. And, yeah... And we're just pushing. Go, little Nobblers, go! And just trying to isolate 3 SCs right now and get them to crumble is so difficult. And to think, I haven't even brought healing yet. Oh, man, it's so brutal. And thankfully, to the nerf for the army ability healing on the Ogre side, this would be so much worse, because I probably have the Paymaster healed up. I'd probably have the... Yeah, that ability used to be so easy to get, and it was the first level of the ability. So you would just do 1 charge, or whatever. I forget how it worked. Because they changed how it was. I forget how it used to be. Now it's based on how many units are charging. And it builds up. So really, it's, you can't really get some SC blobs going with it. And yeah, looking over here now, we're finally getting in lead belchers. I have my Great Mawcaster healing up my Stone Horns right now. Probably just the Thunder Tusk so far. And here comes the charge. It does have Frostbite, so it will send those out. Looks like, yeah, he routed and broke the other Stone Horn. Do I still have another Stone Horn? I think it's just the Thunder Tusk right now. I'm down 4,000 value. No, the other one's getting routed. It's still relatively healthy. Routing out the rest of these Nobblers as well, which hurts. It hurts for sure, but since we had Freya triple cap for so long and we're so down on value, we can pretty much hold on our home objective and just go there. He still has to, Freya still has to hold out or recapture their home objective. At least they got the side point. We're not gonna let them get any free value that easily, so we're gonna charge into there. That was a good pickup on my end. Terror running out mounted yeomen so Frey doesn't get any value, and takes longer to re-summon them, which is fantastic. Got some man-eaters here. Love me some man-eaters. Great for teching into anything anti-large. I definitely find them better than Mournfang have. So yeah, absolutely annihilated that stone. And this is what I mean. Like, a lesser player would not know how to take out these units and break them and chase them off. So Frey is definitely a stronger player. And honestly, I told Freya this as well. If they were down to join in on the new player SFT, probably would dominate, if not win, depending on the faction they play. The micro, the awareness, the in-game knowledge is very strong on Freya. I have some Nobbler or some Pigback Riders trying to come in, deal with all Henry Lamassif and Alberic. Backed up with some, because they're trying to beat up my Mawcaster. Very good on that. Very good on that end. But the Mad-Ears are going to come in and get some work done. Hopefully we trap them up with all this meat. Yeah, and I like the Paymaster's cascading ability. Provides 24 melee attack to a unit for like 20 seconds or so. Charge bonus. Nice little leadership bonus. Get him, Pigbacks! Get him! And there it goes. Oh, excuse me. Also provides... Oh no, it's not a charge bonus. It's, I think, a weapon strength bonus, too. Yeah. Yeah. 8 leadership, 24 melee attack. I think 25% damage buff? Now it's just a matter of time. No, they don't want to capture the side objective. Want to go for my home, maybe? We'll see. Just got to keep this death blob going. Their arrows are annoying, but they're not the end of the world. It's when they have like 4 of them stacked, that's when it becomes an issue. Finally got some little lead belchers going. Trying to go for the snipe on my caster, maybe isolate Nobblars, which would be annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Pigback Riders finally rallied back. Probably could beat up those mounted, but I think we have bigger issues, which is trying to hold our home. A bit ballsy trying to go for the home objective and the side at the same time. I would have rather seen Freya just focus down on one objective. Luckily, though, Noblars are dirt cheap, and being down 3,000 value is pretty nuts. Being able to hold, trying to jump on man-eaters, not the best idea, especially with the Thunder Tusk and the Paymaster there. They do some pretty good damage. Luckily, though, our caster is still alive, and we can provide some nasty heals. Lead Belchers, though, providing lots of shots. Oh my goodness, Lead Belchers are so nuts. Yeah, if Lead Belchers go up 200 points, I would actually love to see that, because, man, that's one less Noblar, that's 2 less spells, maybe a higher level spell, some abilities, especially if you start spamming them out. And by spamming, I mean Lead Belchers. Just providing nothing but fire support. Trying to hit my reinforcements. Good play there, but the Lead Belchers are just an issue. And Freya can't hit the... Actually, they could hit the Maulcaster and the Lead Belchers if they really wanted to. But the problem is the Lead Belchers are off the point, so they're not really helping there. We got Noblar Trappers coming in, regular Pigback Riders, trying to capture as quick as they can. But I think it's a bit too much of an ask, especially with the Noblars there. Go, Noblars, go! Provide me time! And even if they do capture it, it's going to be a rough capture. They haven't even captured the side point, too, so they're spread out on all fronts, and we're going to get a nasty charge here, too. With the Thunder Tusk and the... I was going to say World Eaters. The Man-Eaters. And we're going to try to get the Lead Belchers on the point, just so they can get some capture weight there. Noblar's providing lots of shooting, or the Trappers are providing lots of shooting. The regular Noblars, again, they're shit rocked, but the Thunder Tusk is here along with the Paymaster. And it's going to be a tall order. We are triple cap, but time is on our side, and we just have to get rid of these peasants, which isn't going to be hard, especially without a Grail Relic here. Man-Eaters just doing Man-Eater things, you know, killing everything. Saber Tusk here to show off any of the Knights Errants, any of the peasants. There's nothing but fear for men. Peasants are shooting away. We're easily recapturing because there's nothing but flying units here in peasants. Peasants only have 2 capture weight. Even having the Saber Tusk eat away at the Damsel of Life. And you love to see it, and maybe you hate to see it because you hate ogres. And we are just gonna win on 1 point here. That's all we gotta do, baby. I will say my micro with my SEs was actually kind of trash. Lead Belchers are back online providing shots. I probably should just shoot into the Mounted Yeoman, because it would just cascade into the other units. Forcing Henry Lamasif onto the Lead Belchers, meaning we can just own the 1 point, and GG's Freya, GG's. It was just a back and forth. Really sloppy on my end. Very sloppy. Definitely not an optimal build either. I think just a bunch of Noblars, Pigback Riders, and like 3 Lead Belchers would have done way better. I could have shot into the Mounted Yeoman and forced them back. Comes in with Pegasus Knights to jump on my Lead Belchers, and I have nothing but Mournfang and Man-Eaters to countercharge them. And then Blood Vultures all day to eat their Peasant Bowmen, Saber Tusk to shoo away the rest, and just backed up with more Mournfang. It would have been a bad time for Bretonnia. It's not a good matchup whatsoever for them. It's really rough. We did play a couple more times, and yeah, I ended up bringing the other builds, and ended up even worse for Freya. But yeah, GG's. Very well done. It's just tough playing against Ogres. Absolutely brutal. Especially for newer players. Learn that watching the SFTs. But if you're going to play against the big dogs in their tournaments, you got to be ready for Ogres. You got to be ready for Slash, Wood Elves, all the Nightmare factions. Vampire Counts, Vampire Coast, all the good stuff. Dwarfs, Tomb Kings, the works. Alright, folks, we're coming to the end of the video. If you'd like to, please like, sub, follow me on YouTube. We're on the road to 2,000. Come join me on our streams or our tournaments when we have them over on Total Tavern. And yeah, with all that said, I hope to see you guys next time. Peace, and goodbye for now.